Hi, this is my Kenmore washing machine 700 series. Um, just yesterday I noticed that the spin cycle did not work and I was getting an LE error code on the dial panel. I just turned on the washing machine again after 24 hours. I noticed I'm getting this weird spinning of the drum. As if the drum is not spinning to us. You can hear the sound. And then this pops up. All right, possible issues. Sometimes things can get stuck in between the drum. If the drum is struggling to move, then probably you got some objects in here. In my case, the drum is freely spinning. I know there's a lot of water here. Other than that, I don't feel any resistance. It looks good. Right, I tried unplugging and waited even 24 hours after. It's the same problem. So I'm suspecting the hall sensor, which is at the back of the washing machine, which I'm going to show you how to troubleshoot. First thing first, safety, the most important thing. Make sure you unplug, disconnect the power. You don't want to have that. And wait for a few minutes to discharge any electrical currents. And then I'm going to move the washing machine forwards and then I'm going to access the back. When you're moving the washing machine, just make sure that you got the cold and the hot line for both. Make sure that you have enough slack. And also this is the water hose drain. Make sure there's enough slack before pulling. If not, you may have to disconnect it. Fun fact, I found a lot of treasures moving this washing machine from the back. It's all clean now, so let's get in. And that's a panel I need to open, and I'll show you how to access the hall switch. Okay, so I removed both the hoses off, so it gave me more room now for me to move the washing machine sideways. I just kept there. Luckily I had a disconnect, so I was able to disconnect the water line. I kept a mug just in case if you want to catch any water. So now you can see here, so there's a Phillips, there's about 4 screws. I'm going to take this off. I'm going to pop the screw off. Alright, the screws are off. I think all you have to do is just from the bottom, if you just give it a lift, you can see it just pops open. Just give it a couple of wiggle there. There we go. Just put that aside. You can see that's the main motor. I gotta take this bolt off. I'll show you how to do that. Alright, before we do that, at the bottom, there you can see an electrical connector right there. There's a white one. Just go behind the white. There's a little tab. You can just press on it and then just kind of a little wiggle. And then that's going to come off. As you can see there, that's the first step. I think the hall sensor is located right here. I can even see it through the gaps. The only issue is now is when you want to remove this thing is going to spin. Now here's the technique I'm going to use. If you look inside, there are those bolts. I'm going to stick a screwdriver to hold the spinning area in place, and then I'm going to use a kind of wrench, something to kind of take this off. Okay, let me show that how I'm going to do it. All right, I got the ratchet in place. It's all ready to go, and then I'm going to use this screwdriver to kind of find that bolt on the inside and then prevent this thing from rotating. And I'm going to go snap all the up, and there we go. That's it. And then you got to work your way through. I'm going to fast forward the video. Okay, there you go. I'm going to take this off. All right, there we go. Then you can hand loosen it. I'm going to put this bolt away. Now this one is going to be a little tricky, so you got to jiggle it many ways in different directions, and then you're going to feel a little bit of a play, and it's going to take a while for you to get this off too. There you go. And then it's going to pop out. All right, all set. Now I gotta take all these bolts off, because right behind, that's where the hall sensor is. So I'm gonna fast forward this video. I'm gonna take all these off. I'm gonna pull this out. Okay. All right, I got all these bolts off. Now the good thing is it doesn't spin, so it's easy. You don't have to hold anything with the screwdriver. That's off. Now you got to be careful when you take everything off, because there's one more electrical adapter right here. So you need to pinch. I'm going to show it on this side. You need to pinch the edge and then wiggle it from side to side, and then you got to take that off. And that comes off. That's the position. You have to put this back in because you got this connector to match to this angle right there. And then there we go. That's the Hall sensor, which I'm going to test now to see if it's functional or not. If needed, I'm going to replace this. Alright, let's go and check and see how this is functioning. I'm going to use a multimeter to check this one. Okay, removing this, you're going to see there's a clip here. I'm just going to use a flat screwdriver to kind of angle this and then just lift it up. And this is going to come up. Oh, bingo. That was easy. That just kind of like fell apart. There we go. And then it just snaps in place when it's done. There's no screws, nothing holding this down, just these clips. There are 3 clips over here. Okay, let's see how to test this Hall sensor. So if I'm holding the sensor this way, with this magnetic piece facing on the right, and if I show you the pins, the very first pin on the extreme left hand side, this one is the common pin, and then we are going to check pin 1 and pin 2 from the right side. So what this means is you need a multimeter for sure. There we go. So make sure you set the multimeter to the ohms position, like how I'm showing it. Alright. A good Hall sensor, when you put one pin on the common and one pin on the front and on the second one, should show a good reading between 10 to 12 kilo ohms, showing that good sensor. If you see an OL or reduced ohms on any one of those pin area, then it's faulty. Let's check this out. Alright, I'm just going to put one of the leads. You can see here I'm putting in the first one, the common one. I gotta find a way to hold this and still do this video. Oops. Okay, there we go. And then I'm going to put it on the very first one. You can see here the very first one, and that's good, showing a reading of 10.14 to 15 kilo ohms. So which means the common and the first pin showing a good ohms range. Now let's check the common and the second and see what it shows. Alright, as you can see here, I'm going to hold it, and this time I'm going to put it on the second one. And I hope you can see it. It's giving a very low ohms reading of 3.5 or 3.6. I should be seeing a 10 to 12 there, which indicates that this Hall sensor needs to be replaced. A very simple testing method to know if this is good or bad. If this is good, then you need to put this back and troubleshoot other ways to see why your drum is not spinning on your washing machine. Alright, so I'm going to go get a new part of this, and I'm going to put exactly the way back as I remove the pin and the drum. Alright, okay. Alright, looks like I have the new one delivered today, and take a look here. This thing just cost me $15 on Amazon, and it just got delivered in one day. And just comparing with the old one, looks like a perfect match. So what I did, I took a picture of that model number and I put it on the Amazon search, and then I was able to match to the to correct specification, and they have the same number here too, which is perfect. Now all we gotta do now, let's test the new one to see if I'm getting the same ohms amperage on this one. All right, okay, so I'm going to put the old one away, put the new one here, get my multimeter, and I'm going to set it to the ohms range. It's right here, and then I'm going to set it to auto. All right, now you guys know the drill. The very first one on the left is the common one. I'm going to put that in there. I'm going to put this more closer so you all can see, and I'm going to put the probe, hopefully. Let's see. I'm getting a 9.68, close to 10, not bad. So that's the first one, and then let me just move to the next one, the second one, and I'm getting a 9.64 on that, which is pretty good. Now on the old one, I didn't get this reading, so good news. This should do the trick. So I'm gonna go this and install this on this washing machine and just reverse the whole procedure, how I removed everything, and see if this is going to do the magic. All right, let's get the coil now, and you can see there are two small indentations. That's a marking. That's where these two clips are going to go in and sit right there. So I'm going to angle it from the outside, and let's bring that in. Bingo. Let's see here. Okay, I gotta just nudge it a little bit. Click. There you go. Alright, make sure it just is nice and sturdy. It's perfect. Okay, there we go. So you got the hall sensor in place now, okay? So let's go and put this back. Alright. I'm going to highly recommend to put this adapter first, and then you can put the coil back in. There we go. As you can see here, this portion goes on the inside. I'm going to go in and I'm going to connect this first. Make sure it clicks, and then bring it over and then put it right where it's supposed to be. Okay, let's match it to, there we go. That's it. And then I'm going to put all these bolts back. I'm going to do all of them and then come back, put the magnetic cover over the top. Alright, I forgot to mention there's another small wire connector, so that needs to go in and click on that as well. Let's take care of that. Okay, that's done. Alright, next thing is just putting the magnetic cover. It doesn't matter, make sure the grooves just match to these grooves. Usually once you put it, the magnet is going to suck this inside, as you can see here, and then you just have to jiggle your way in. A few jiggles, and then it goes in place. And then make sure you have this bolt in. Screw it in. Now once again, remember, once you're going to tighten this is going to start spinning. So you need to have the screwdriver again to catch on one of the bolts and then get that done there. There we go. That's nice and tight. So it's the same principle. Make sure you find that bolt. Maybe from this side as well. There we go. And then now you see the drum doesn't move. Let's see what I'm doing here. Okay, that's good enough. Okay, now I'm just going to put this cover back on. Put the 4 screws on. Connect the hot and the cold line. Remember, the red one indicates as a hot line. Also, the tube will have the red color. Make sure you connect it, and then I'm going to turn it on and see if this did the magic. Okay, everything is put back. Let's go and plug it in. Alright, here we go. Moment of truth. Okay, I still have some water there. It's not level, but that's okay. Okay, good. Everything turns on. Just gonna put it in express, and oops, I forgot to turn the water. Give me a second. All right. Right. It's draining all the water out. I'm just waiting for the drum to spin. There you go, the spinning sounds normal. I don't see any grinding sound. Looks like the code didn't come back. There we go. Oh, this is great news. Wow. Mission accomplished. That's it, everyone. It's evident that this was the faulty one. The Hall sensor is a matter of $15, and that's it. Your washing machine is back in action. All the best, guys. Hope this helps.